Welcome to the Schwenkfelder Library and Heritage Center. Our mission is to collect, preserve, exhibit, and interpret books, manuscripts, and artifacts related to the Schwenkfelders, the people of southeastern Pennsylvania in general, and the Perkiomen Valley in particular. Kaspar Schwenkfeld von Ossig was a Protestant reformer living in Silesia, part of present-day Poland, in the early 1500s. His own spiritual awakening led him to an intense study of the Scriptures, and the notes written in his Bible expressed the personal knowledge of Christ he found there. Though not a clergyman, he traveled and taught his conviction of the need for true spiritual reform, not of outward structures, practices, or appearances, but of the inner life of faith. Schwenkfeld never organized an independent church, but called those gathered around him confessors of the glory of Christ. For 200 years, his followers lived mostly in the Silesian countryside, persecuted by government officials and the state church alike. The few hundred remaining by 1726 quietly left their homes and possessions by night and found refuge for a time with Moravians and their spiritual leader, Count Nicholas von Zinzendorf, on his property in neighboring Saxony. But by 1734, the political winds had shifted, and the Schwenkfelders were forced to seek new homes. The St. Andrew brought the largest group of about 180 to Philadelphia on September 22, and 2 days later, September 24, 1734, they held a Thanksgiving service, which Schwenkfelders have celebrated annually ever since. The settlers found land primarily in two clusters near present-day Pennsburg and Lansdale in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. The early years were spent establishing homes and farms, living peaceably among their Pennsylvania German and English neighbors. The Schwenkfelders' religious life and intellectual heritage remained strong, sustained by the precious writings of Kaspar Schwenkfeld and other church leaders that were carefully copied, added to, and preserved. The first meeting houses were not built until 1798, as what had been a loosely organized fellowship, gathering in homes, was given a more formal structure. Schwenkfelders were largely farmers who worked hard, dressed modestly, and spoke German. As they became increasingly prosperous, their early, simple log homes were replaced by substantial farmsteads, gracing the landscape around Hereford, Palm, and Worcester. Though continuing to be primarily agricultural, Schwenkfelders moved increasingly into American life and society, making names as farm equipment manufacturers, educators, politicians, and church leaders. In 1909, the Schwenkfelders became an official denomination. The 3,000 members are found in 6 churches, all around the original area of settlement in southeastern Pennsylvania. The legacy of Kaspar Schwenkfeld persisted, even as the spiritual body was widened and enriched. The hope to preserve and remember is felt in every generation. The Schwenkfelder Library and Heritage Center is today's response to our need to recognize and understand the path we have walked to the present. It began in the 1880s with a movement to gather and publish the complete works of Kaspar Schwenkfeld. Around the same time, a great interest in Schwenkfelder family lines resulted in an authoritative genealogical record printed in 1923. The gathering of resources for these projects brought together a wealth of old books and religious manuscripts, along with other treasures of Schwenkfelder life and heritage. This collection was housed in the Carnegie Library on the campus of the Schwenkfelder-owned Perkiomen School in Pennsburg, preserving a core record of Schwenkfelder identity. Resources continued to accumulate, especially those relating to the Pennsylvania Germans of southeastern Pennsylvania and the Perkiomen Valley. A new facility was dedicated in 1951, and the Schwenkfelder Library became a recognized center for the study of Reformation and Schwenkfelder history and theology, Pennsylvania German history and culture, and local genealogy. Time brought the need for even greater preservation efforts and broad educational interpretation. In 2001, the current expanded Schwenkfelder Library and Heritage Center was opened to house all of the manuscripts, books, and artifacts in one place, to make them more easily accessible for study and interpretation, to display artifacts of importance to Schwenkfelder and local history, and to educate Schwenkfelders and residents of the Perkiomen Valley about their culture and heritage. At the center is the unique group of Schwenkfelder religious manuscripts dating from the 18th century and earlier. They are bound in hand-tooled leather and ornamented with brass mountings and clasps. These are primarily in German and are of both European and colonial origins. Original deeds, land drafts, and other legal documents relating to the Perkiomen Valley are a rich resource for local history and genealogical investigation. These are supplemented by family, church, and cemetery records. Many visitors are eager to trace their family lines among the names common in this region. The Schwenkfelder genealogical record of descendants of the first approximately 200 immigrants is currently being updated. A large collection of photographs, chief among them those of H. Winslow Fagley of Hereford, offers an unparalleled view into the lives and culture of the Pennsylvania Germans. The Heritage Center's textile collection ranges from the eminently practical to the purely decorative. Fraktur was both an ornamental and functional folk art form that flourished on decorated manuscripts among the Pennsylvania Germans. The work of Schwenkfelder Fraktur artists had a distinctive style and a spiritual intent. Our large and rare collection is among the finest in the world. A visit to the Library and Heritage Center can bring a special part of us alive. Our education department offers programs and educational activities for all ages and interests. Students learn by hearing, seeing, and doing the experiences of Pennsylvania German life. Festivals and other activities provide an opportunity for the community to come and touch the distinctive character of its own past. And there are periodic lectures, discussions, and presentations related to Pennsylvania German and Schwenkfelder themes. Our exhibit areas serve distinctive purposes. The permanent Heritage Gallery on the main floor tells the Schwenkfelder story, from its European origins to the 20th century, and touches many aspects of Pennsylvania German life. A smaller gallery at the center exhibits Fraktur and other folk art. On the first floor, a local history gallery features changing exhibits highlighting specific aspects of our region's heritage. The rotating exhibits in the first floor art gallery regularly show the works of local artists. And be sure to visit our heritage shop with its selection of educational and decorative gifts and resources. We invite you to join us in learning who we are and our part in an unfolding story. The resources of the Schwenkfelder Library and Heritage Center are here to connect us with our past and to help us read our story there. Thank you for coming. We hope you enjoy and are enriched by your visit with us.